The rule of law is central to the human quest for justice. Law schools play a pivotal role in this mission by helping ensure the ongoing endurance of a fair and efficient legal system. The nation and the world need a generation of lawyers educated to meet the challenges and demands of the future, while steeped in the great enduring values of the past. The law school at Washington and Lee University is leading the nation in placing professionalism at the core of its mission. Washington and Lee's bold new educational program centered on teaching law and theory through the simulation of actual law practice environments is replacing the model of instruction that has dominated American legal education for the last century and redefining the law school experience.
So the big change that we're about, and the big change that is taking place nationally in legal education, is the sense that we need to be professional schools. And that means we're not simply intellectual think tanks in which students speculate about law and theory. We're actually professional schools in the sense that medical schools are professional schools. Our job is to train people to enter the profession. And there are movements around the country in that direction, and Washington and Lee is one of the leaders of that movement.
For many years, attorneys and judges have called on law schools to better prepare students for the practice of law.
The practice of law really requires students to apply legal doctrine to the facts of a case in order to solve a problem. Just working with the classroom Socratic method that students get in their first years of law school really doesn't adequately prepare them.
Although experts agree that the predominant teaching method in law schools, the case dialogue method, is extremely effective in teaching first-year students the building blocks of legal theory, reasoning, and doctrine, research has shown that relying solely on this academic method of teaching can leave law students unprepared for actual legal practice.
That's been the traditional model, that the task of teaching a novice lawyer how to actually respond to a client's needs, deal with other lawyers, work through issues and problems, draft legal materials, do the counseling and do the advocacy on behalf of a client that is required, was something that just happened largely by happenstance and luck after the lawyer graduated from law school and was thrown into the practice. And our theory is we can do better than that society demands that we do better than that.
With a dramatically revised third year, Washington and Lee aims to better prepare students for the profession of law by incorporating exciting new methods in addition to the traditional academic approach.
Our law students are going to be doing the job of being a lawyer, not just studying it through books and through classrooms. And that's pretty revolutionary in the history of American law schools. They're going to actually have to use their judgment through simulated practice experiences and real practice experiences to begin to learn how to actually be lawyers.
One important function of the new third year will be to ensure that each student graduates with real client experience.
In my experience with the practicums here, I think that you learn by doing a lot. And I think that's a huge advantage, sort of as a capstone course.
These courses are a lot more hands-on. You're drafting, you're writing the briefs, you're performing depositions, and it really gives you a keen insight into what a practitioner actually does.
At the core of the new curriculum are practice-based simulations spanning the array of legal subject matter that will expose students to the realities of legal practice, while at the same time delving deeply into relevant legal theory.
I teach a practicum in international women's human rights, and there are actually two different models of that practicum. One model is a model in which I take the students to actually do some human rights work on the ground in Africa. Complex issues of strategy and advocacy come up all the time, but it's very difficult to teach that outside of the context of real human rights work. When they can see that the work that they're doing will have a real impact and improve the world in some way, then I think they're motivated by things beyond grades.
I absolutely think that the new third-year curriculum is going to make students more passionate about their work inside and outside of the classroom, and I say that speaking from my own experience.
Washington and Lee is one of the nation's smallest top-tier law schools, and with a student-faculty ratio of 9.8 to 1, the students have always been the top priority.
One of the reasons I chose to come to W&L was because of the school's student-centered approach to teaching. And I believe that this third-year program really enhances this idea.
We're saying to our students, we really take seriously your obligations of ethical representation of clients and professionalism. And we take that so seriously that we're going to make that a central part of your education.
And now, with its bold new third-year program, Washington and Lee University Law School will continue to fulfill its mission, providing students with the best preparation possible for the practice of law. For more information, visit law.wlu.edu.